Last night we had 4 games of NBA action. We had Bucks versus Bulls, Warriors versus Nuggets, Heat versus Hawks, and wrapped up the night with a great game, Phoenix versus New Orleans. So the first game we're going to get into was the early afternoon game, and we had Bucks versus Bulls, and really not much to say here. The Bucks dominated this one. Giannis with 20, with Giannis with 32 and 17. Jrue Holiday finally had a great offensive game with 26. Bobby Portis with 14, and Grayson Allen has been absolutely lighting up this series. I think he's a little bit of fire in him because of the beef he has with the Bulls organization, or more like the Bulls fans' beef with him, rightfully so, because he took out Alex Caruso and he missed a lot of time because of that. But Grayson Allen off the bench with 27, shooting 6 of 7 from downtown. Phenomenal game from him. He was just being left wide open because Giannis and Jrue attack so much attention when they're going to the bucket. So this series is pretty much over. I think we kind of assumed that really after Game 3, and now that they're up 3-1, they're going back to Milwaukee to close out the series. I really don't think the Bulls are going to give them much of an issue, especially at home in that Milwaukee's home crowd. So I'll pretty much say the Bucks have this one up. Giannis was absolutely just torching them in the paint. They had nobody they could throw at them. But for Chicago's side, their stars had better games than most of this series. LaVine have put up 24 and 13 assists. That might be a career high for them. I've never seen LaVine really crack double-digit assists. Seeing him out there with 13 because he draws so much attention on his drives and from the perimeter. Very nice to see that from him. DeRozen with a nice game as well. He had 23, but still the shooting splits aren't there for him. He went 8 of 20 from the field and 0 of 5 from 3. I think DeRozan's kind of chilled out from the regular season because he really went for the MVP, and unfortunately he just didn't get it or wasn't really in the running for it. But and then Patrick Williams for them, the sophomore player who has a lot of potential. He had 20 and 10 tonight. Fantastic game from him. And Caruso started but didn't finish the game. I think he maybe broke his nose. I saw he got hit in the face really hard. But he might have had a different injury. To be honest, I was busy this game, so I didn't get to watch it. But I kind of predicted the outcome to be a blowout loss or a blowout win by the Bucks. Really not much to talk about there. This series is pretty much over. Moving on to the Heat versus Hawks. This was a pretty exciting game because of the Hawks' comeback last night or a couple nights ago when they ended up coming back down like 17, and Trae Young ended up hitting a game-winning floater. Very nice to see, and plus the Hawks are really good at home. I think now after this loss, I think since January they're at 21-4 at home. So great home game, great home game production from them. So I was kind of on the edge of my seat thinking they're going to put it together and come back, but unfortunately that just don't happen. But just like the Bucks and in the Bulls series, I think this one's going to end in 5, going back to Miami. However, Jimmy has been absolutely killing it this season or this series especially. He's averaging 30 plus. He put up 36, 10, 4, and 4 for them. Shot efficiently from the field. Jimmy always steps it up during the playoffs, and this series is nothing different. Phenomenal series from him thus far, and I can only imagine he's going to keep it rolling until they either go all the way or they get eliminated. So, and then no real other standout performance from him. The only thing that worries me about the Miami Heat is Tyler Hero has not been playing well this series. I've yet to see him have a really good game or a game that Tyler Hero usually puts up for them. And that's worrisome because the biggest issue with this Heat team all regular season was when Jimmy wasn't going, Hero was the guy to keep the offense going and for them to look for him to get a bucket. And he only had 3 points tonight, shot 1 of 8. Really not a great game from him. And that concerns me because at some points of the season, he was their only real offense. And the Hawks are not a very good defensive team. I mean, they're undersized at the wing position. They don't move their feet too well. So Tyler Hero should definitely be taking advantage of this. And in terms of interior defenders, you have Clint Capella, who only played 20 minutes tonight, and you have John Collins, who only played 21 minutes tonight. And John Collins isn't really a rim protector, and Clint Capella is, but with only playing 20 minutes, Hero's got to capitalize, more on that aspect. So that does worry me about the Miami Heat. Nonetheless, I think they're going to wrap up this series. Trae Young had another awful game. He put up 9, 1, and 5, shot 3 of 11 from the field, and really shot 3 of 10 from 3. Trae Young can shoot the ball, but he's He's not like a knockdown lights out 3-point shooter that people project him to be. But what stands him out from the rest of the guards in the league is he has a really good float game, really good mid range game. He can get to the basket because he's really quick and he has nice finishes around the rim. But for this statistic of going 3 of 11 and 3 of 10 from 3, which means he took one shot inside the perimeter, the Heat are definitely throwing him off his game because his game is dribble, drive, penetration. And that's why he also has high assist number games too, because he attracts 2 or 3 guys on him when he drives in because they're so scared of the floater or the layup. And when that happens, they collapse and he hits one of his shooters. He hits, back when he had Cam Reddish, he would hit Kevin Huerter, he hit DeAndre Hunter. John Collins can hit the 3. You had, Bogdanovich, you had Gallinari. Like, they have shooters on shooters on shooters. And with Trae Young's not, penetrating and getting buckets in the paint and in that kind of mid-range floater area, they completely shut down their offense. And that's what the Miami Heat did. Again, I think going back to Miami Game 5, this series is just about over. Great, not a bad season from the Hawks. They really, pulled themselves together end of the season. But they have some decision to make. They need to add more perimeter defense, and I think they just need to add they just need another kind of co-star with Trae Young, another person who could take the offensive load off of him when he's having games like last night where he struggled significantly and they lost by 24. So, not a great game from him, not a really great season from the Hawks, but, definitely some positives in there. They got some good players that are still young. So, still a very young team and have a lot of potential. And moving on to Game 3, the Nuggets avoided the sweep. Good on them. I really don't think this is any type of alarms for Golden State. I think Golden State just shot really bad, and their perimeter defense just wasn't there for them. Again, I see Golden State closing out this game in Game 5 back in San Fran. In terms of Golden State, Poole struggled. He had 11 and 9 assists, shot 3 of 10. Wiggins with 20. He finally had a good game offensively for them, but it came to, he had a great game because I think Steph and Jordan Poole didn't really have. Steph had a good game. It was really just Jordan Poole, but the efficiency, just wasn't there. The only player that really shot efficient was Klay Thompson, which is a very bright spot for the Warriors because he's really starting to get his legs back, and we're really starting to see the old Klay Thompson. I did watch most of this game. There was a couple times where he came off a screen and just pretty much caught it in the shooting form and let it go instantly, nothing but net. I think we're starting to get the old Klay Thompson back, which is awesome. Steph came off the bench again. He put up 33, shot 10 of 23, struggled from 3 a little bit, 3 of 11. And then no one really stepped up for the Warriors besides that. Draymond had 13, 11, 6, and 2, had a Draymond-type game. And then Kuminga played some good minutes tonight. Wasn't really impactful in the win because they did lose by 5. But again, I don't think the series is going past 5 games. In terms of Nuggets side, Jokic finally got some help from his perimeter guys, from his guard position especially. Jokic at 37, 8, and 6. Aaron Gordon with 21. He had a good game. He's finally starting to pick it up offensively for them, but I think he's just doing it a couple games too late. Really only the past 2 games he's played well. The first 2, they really put themselves in a hole in the series. He was a no-show. So it's kind of a little too late from him, but love to see that, and hopefully he will put it more together next season for them. And Monte Morris hit a big floater and a big 3 towards the end of the game. Love to see that. He finished with 24, shot efficiently. And Bones Highland in that second quarter came out and hit 3 big threes to really give him the lead going into halftime, which carried that momentum, towards a W. And Boogie gave him 10 points off the bench in 10 minutes. So really not a bad production from the Nuggets team. Jokic finally got some help, but unfortunately, like I said, really don't think, because, role players step up at home, and that's really all that they are besides Jokic is a bunch of good group of role players who step up at home. So going back to San Fran with that, home crowd, and I don't think Jordan Poole is going to shoot like he did tonight. So I think the Warriors are going to wrap it up in 5. Now, the most interesting game of the night was the Phoenix Suns versus the Pelicans, and I want to keep it a buck. This is the first game I've watched a lot of Phoenix basketball. I'm very high on them. I think their ball movement and their defense is spectacular. I love the way they play basketball. It's really not ISO heavy, but they have exciting isolation plays mixed in with their coherent ball movement, screen away offense. This team reminds me a little bit of how Golden State played. Definitely not as exciting, because Golden State was launching them from deep and was a better team. but it reminds me of the Golden State before they got Kevin Durant. Not comparing not comparing them talent wise, but I get that same excitement watching the Phoenix Suns. And this is the first game all season I've seen them get rattled. They really lost the mental game of this. I mean, honestly, Chris Paul let Alvarado and Jones, the two rookies on the team, really get to his head. Again, I don't think Chris Paul is going to put up this type of production again. I don't think he's going to let him get to him again. I think this is once a blue moon for him, and it showed because he is the leader of this team. And if he's not in it mentally, and if he's getting mentally kind of harassed by the other team and it's getting to him, then this whole team's going to fall apart. So I don't see him putting up 4 points again in the series. And he also had 3 turnovers, which was surprising. DeAndre Ayton had a good game, but other than that, no one else on this Suns team really stepped up. So it's going to be interesting because it's now 2-2, and Brandon Ingram's been absolutely on fire. Monty Williams has got to make some different defensive schemes to stop him. So going over to the New Orleans side, Brandon Ingram put up 30, CJ put up 18. CJ kind of struggled in this game, but thankfully Alvarado gave them some great minutes, especially defending Chris Paul. It was pretty much the Brandon Ingram, Valanciunas show. Valanciunas at 26 and 15. And now the series is up 2-2, going into Phoenix for Game 5. I still think the Phoenix Suns are going to win this series. And I think this might be their toughest series until the Western Conference Finals, if they do end up advancing, because they don't have Devin Booker. Hopefully Booker can come back this playoffs because the hamstring is nothing to play with, so he might miss the rest of the playoffs. But I do think Phoenix will win. I think the role, like I said before, role players step up at home, and Phoenix has home court advantage. So I think Phoenix is going to close the series out in 7 at home in Phoenix, and then advance to play either the Mavericks or the Jazz, who has a tie series. So that wraps up the games. They were all very exciting. Definitely my favorite was the Suns and Pels, even though my Suns got beat. And then the Warriors and Nuggets game, was pretty exciting too. And then always watching the Miami Heat's defense is exciting as well. So that pretty much wraps it up. If you guys made it this far, type in the comments Jose Alvarado, and I'll see you in the next video.